Get him in. Is he calling? He is calling. Oh God, he's calling.
Oh, oh God, I'm calling.
Oh God, he's calling.
Am I the harbinger of death or something?
I don't know. It depends.
It depends on what.
What? Are you gonna aggro all the mercy mains to me?
Bro, I'll aggro everyone in this game.
Whoa, whoa.
I'm in the unique position where I can actually play all roles. So I know it from every perspective, but most people just say like, oh, he's just these DPS players complaining about everything. Bro, the amount of times I just pick Kiriko or Mora and like I just solo everyone on the enemy team, I'm just like,
oh, you're so good, brother.
You have everything. Like you guys are given everything, but you guys complain somehow. Like I see a tracer blink behind me. And like everyone's like, oh, the flankers are so hard to deal with. This support, it's so broken. Boom, 120 headshot. Like I'm swatting a fly.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Kiriko's kind of nuts.
Dude, the most fun has been queuing support and just going Mora and just living in the backline. You have a self heal. You have an instant cleanse, get away out of jail free car. You have the support passive to heal yourself. Not only that, you're damaging someone and healing yourself while damaging them.
True.
Like it's actually benign. What? And then I like prick Cassidy, for example. What do I have? Man, I rolled. Oh,
you roll and you fan the hammer.
I have a magnetic flashbang. Oh, I shot my gun. Now, special move ultimate, stand still. What I think is, I think most Overwatch players don't know what the they want. That's one of the main problems. But I know what I want. And I want every other role to suffer except DPS. Because you know what? Everyone goes back to season 3. You ask anyone what time of Overwatch was the best, everyone's like, season 3, love that shit. That was great. And you know why? Because every tank and support was dog shit, and it was the DPS running the show. That's why it was fun.
Was it though? Winston back then was kind of nuts, if I remember right, wasn't he?
Yeah, but none of those Winstons juggled like the Korean Winstons. Let's be honest.
Yeah, true.
Like,
they're all
Korean
pretty
Winston
bad. They're pretty bad.
Everyone with their ult. Winston's back then, not even comparable.
We're so
Everyone
old,
was bad.
dude. We are so old.
That's the whole reason that season 3 was good, is because it was DPS running the show. When were people being like, Pog, oh my God, Tracer solo killing the backline? They're 1v9ing? This is awesome. I could solo carry the game. Now, Kiriko, Baptiste, Mora, all this motherfucking shit. You can't do shit as a flanker. You're just gonna get like, supports don't even have to look at you. They could probably just ignore you for more than half of the fight and just sustain themselves. And you're just tickling them like Tracer, like, please let me kill you. Oh, I finally got my ultimate. I pulse my Suzu. Immortality, more of like they have ultimates on cooldowns.
Not wrong, actually, for the ultimates for cooldowns part. That is true.
And the other thing is, tanks were even more broken way back then, if you really think about it.
Imagine if we had scoreboards during double shield.
Dude, imagine all the tank players having knowledge right now back then.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
well, you know why, right? And this is okay. Now this is the proper nostalgia. Well, the reason why is because all the good players went DPS at the start of the game, because we all came from other FPS games. We want to keep playing FPS, so no one wanted to play tank. And so the tank players took a while for them to learn how to get good, with the sole exceptions of a few people. Like the people who got guilted in, who were actually good at the start of the game, into playing tank. It took them longer.
Yeah. But then we realized, wait, tanks are just better DPS because they have more health and do the same amount of damage, and then we got goats. But that was also because of Brick.
That was Brick. That was a different, that was...
But she enabled and truly showed how tanks can do everything and more.
Well, yeah, but that's, that's a different era. The early Overwatch era, you got to remember, AoE healing in early Overwatch, the most heals you could have in Overwatch was a Mercy Lucio. Like, and then they added Ana, right? And then we were like, what? Okay. Now I have Ana Lucio, and then that was the most. And then what became the most slowly shifted over time as we added more and more AoE healing. But yeah, I know what you mean.
I did make a talk about that with effective HP and how AoE healing just makes everyone have 3 times the amount of health technically.
Oh, because it changes the amount of shots to kill people type of thing on people.
Well, and because Zen Mercy, for example, can only heal 1 person, but if you just have a Baptiste in the mix, he's healing 5 people at the same time.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The AoE heals and stuff like that, they brought that into the game, I think, not fully understanding what they did, and then that's then they, they started to tone it down a little bit. It's not nearly as bad these days.
But damage amps should be removed from the game, honestly.
All right, why?
I mean, it does go to that breakpoint talk. Ashe has been an example. There's a time when Ashe could one-shot, headshot 200 HP targets because of Mercy, but instead of nerfing Mercy, they just nerf Ashe at her base, which then makes her worse by herself, technically, in a way. Pharah, you can literally never change at all because, as we talked about, gold players will suffer even more, which means they're never going to be changed for top 500. Whereas if you didn't have damage boost, you could maybe change a little bit about Pharah, but I guess it's more about the perma healing on Pharah that is a problem for lower ranks.
Yeah, I think with Pharah, it's just because flying characters are really difficult for people who aren't as good as FPS games to handle.
True. I hate Zenyatta. That guy's overpowered. A lot of people are going to be question marking that, but Zenyatta's been overpowered. He's overpowered. Let's be honest. These motherfuckers gave him a 50 damage kick.
He's got strong legs.
Why do you need that?
Why not? He's cool.
Also, I do believe melee should be removed from this game.
Okay, like give me your wildest takes. Just keep going. Okay, melee should be removed.
Like,
all right, let's keep
ball
going.
players piss me off. The amount of ball players I see slam on top of me and wiggle their mouse with their 80 machine gun bullets, not hitting a single thing, but spamming melee, and then eventually taking me out because they have 800 HP in that stupid shield, and they're only killing me because of the quick melee pisses me off. Those ball players, they are the single reason I want quick melee removed, because they all are dog shit, and they just kill me with melee with their overabundance of health.
How can you get mad at ball players? You see one ball player a year right now. I see Orisa every game.
Good. Ball should be removed from the game.
What do you mean? Who hurt you?
I've played everything. Everything hurt me in one way or another.
It's tough.
Doesn't help that people go out of their way to kill you too.
Okay, yeah, you're not wrong.
Definitely doesn't help.
Okay, the stream sniping ball players are something else. Those guys are nuts. Yeah, I agree with that. Those guys are nuts because you can't stop them. They're just rolling. You're
just praying that someone helps you.
They got 1200 HP. You got 200. They hit the slam, and you're in your backline walking from spawn. You hope your Ana turns around. If your Ana doesn't turn around, you die.
They never turn around.
And there's literally nothing you can do because it's a ball, and they have 1200 HP, and they are rolling.
Yep.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So that's who hurt me.
Yep. I've been there. I know what you mean.
My biased DPS opinion. Yep. But it's true. Tanks should be there to tank. Wild concept. Maybe they shouldn't be able to solo everyone in the game. And supports should use utility to survive and not damage and have more damage than DPS. And the whole reason is like, well, if like you do that, like no one's gonna want to play tank and no one's gonna want to play support. It's been like that in every game for ages. Look at MMOs, look at MOBAs. It takes a certain personality type to want to do that shit. And that's why they do it. If they wanted to play DPS, they would play DPS.
So I think tanks should do damage but have limited range so they can take space. That's what I've always felt, right? Like
that's fine.
When
Ryan is the perfect example.
Yeah, when they first added a lot of the tanks to the game, my issue was the range. So Orisa was like the bunker character, but if you got in her face, she instantly died, right? And that's how the original Orisa iteration was like, I put my shield down, I pull you, and I do big poke, and if you get my face, I explode. But then they started going and blurring the lines. And now we're in Overwatch 2, so it's all just a little weird, right? Like they're little Godzillas and they just run around and no one can stop a tank unless you are also your tank to stop them. And everyone else plays around them, right? So I know what you mean. A lot of the time it's really weird.
I think it's like, at this point, tanks are less of the problem and more supports. Because it's actually just impossible to kill supports by yourself.
I agree.
Literally impossible.
I think the problem I have is that I think a lot of the new characters they've added are just, they can't die. Like the Mercy movement changes, it is basically impossible to kill a good Mercy.
Bro, it's funny because like Tracer used to be good at killing Mercy, right? Like if someone was getting perma-pogged by a Mercy, you'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go Tracer and just focus the Mercy. Now she just does this perma stuck in the air shit. And you're just like a little gnat just like shooting her from downstairs. Like, I'm tickling you, but I can't reach you anymore.
Yeah, I know. And then also, if you ever find a Kiriko, she has a small hitbox and just TPs away and has Suzu. And
She has
so she just climbs
an
away.
immortality, a blink, Zen Discord damage. It just the support players aren't allowed to complain. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. They can't complain.
The problem is, and I think the more fundamental issue here is, we're discussing our game of top 500, where a lot of this stuff is what you're saying it is. And it doesn't necessarily matter because everything that you described is not a Sojourn. So what I mean by that is like, they're going to be
Sojourn isn't a problem for me anymore. I play Bastion. I don't get one shot.
True. What I'm saying is,
I just go in turret 4 and go. Brrr.
Every role has its overpowered type of character or ridiculous, and so Sojourn right now is disgustingly OP for 99%.
Only because of Mercy damage boost.
I think she's pretty good other than Mercy damage boost. I still think her ultimate's insane. I think her mobility is insane.
I'm not scared of Sojourn at all until she has a Mercy. I say it all the time. Once Sojourn has Mercy pocket, then it's out of your hands. But if she doesn't, it doesn't matter. You know why? Because when a Sojourn is by herself, you can still kill her. You can 1v1 her because you're not scared of that rail, and you're not going to get randomly picked anymore. As soon as a Mercy is there, unkillable God Demon King. You're scared 24/7.
Yeah. Good luck killing a Sojourn with AD spamming with a Mercy pocket. Her hitbox is tiny as hell.
Her hitbox is ridiculous.
Also, her hitbox when sliding is some BS. I cannot hit her while sliding ever.
I've seen her slide and then like tank Cassidy ults, so.
What?
Yeah, there's like some bugs with Cassidy ult where if people use like certain movement things, they actually just tank the shot.
Emong was saying similar actually.
Yeah.
With Sigma Rock actually. He was saying a Sojourn can slide under Sigma Rock sometimes.
Yeah, shit's funky.
Like the hitbox on the slide is just weird. But so overall though, outside of the crazy stuff like removing quick melee, you just think tanks and supports can't complain because they're kind of OP?
Yes. Now, that's not to say you can't complain about teammates. Everyone can complain about teammates. That's a universal thing. That's universal. Like, you're not getting enough healing, more power to you. But saying you're underpowered or not impactful, you guys are either just bad or huffing on hardcore copium. Because like, I'll play Soldier 76 and I'm shooting an Orisa in the face with 6 clips. She's still at 80% health. Like, her health hasn't moved at all.
Yep. While Orisa has CDs, you will never kill her. And then when she doesn't have spin, she's just like spin, gold, spin. Then you have like a 5-second window, not even that, to start pumping her full of damage and maybe kill her. And then it's spin, gold.
And then you're like, okay, well, so I can't kill the tank. Maybe I'll kill the supports.
Yeah.
Immortality, triage heal, blink, this, that, up, down, left, right.
There's a lot of like compounding factors here though, because one of them is, you know, tanks are really tanky. Healing feels very strong, so we can't realistically kill tanks a lot of the time unless you're, you know, really hardcore focusing them, and maybe you have an ult and they don't have an ult. And then you go flank supports because you see only, in a lot of cases, viable thing you can do to really try and carry a game. And then if that's all you can do and supports are basically impossible to kill, I think that's kind of devolves into sniper stuff that we see now. Where people go,
even snipers aren't that big. Like, what the thing that a lot of people are going to be like, what?
It depends on the map.
It does depend on the map, but a lot of the thing is when you die to Widow, most of the time in this game, it's you being dumb rather than the Widow being good. Like, if you look at any low ranked players dying to Widowmaker, half the time they're just going to run in a straight line around a corner and then die and be like, man, dude, Widow sucks to play against. Like, I hate playing against this guy. Because Doom was the same thing. A lot of people don't like thinking. A lot of people just don't like thinking. You know what Widow and Doom make you do? They make you think. They make you think, oh, maybe I need to like shoulder peek this corner, bait out a shot. No, half of these motherfuckers want to turn off their brains and just run in straight lines until they're shooting things again. So like, they just run around a corner, get headshot. They're like, that sucks, man, dude.
The problem is the only issue I have with Widows are on all the Widow friendly points where you don't have the decision to bait shots and like have any opportunity to make map control, because there's games like you walk into Circuit Royale, half that map's a Widow map until the second point's capped. You walk into something like First Point Junkertown, there is nothing you are doing except dying to a Widow on First Point Junkertown for ages.
You know what I do when there's a Widow on the enemy team? If I'm on DPS, I go Sombra, and then I just camp her 24/7.
Do you still go Sombra even right now?
Oh yeah, is enemy Zen on the team or Widow, and I don't want to deal with it? Sombra. You literally just, what is she gonna do? You just shoot her. She either hits her shot or you kill her. If I'm support and there's an enemy Widow on the team and my team's not doing anything about it, I go Moira. I go in the back line. What's the Widow gonna do to me? Shoot me? No. I just kill her. I suck her off, and then I spawn camp her, and then she switches, and then there's no more Widow problem. You know,
not wrong,
I'm tank and they have a Widow. Just Roadhog. I walk past everyone. I kill her. most of the time, like I've played Widow. I was known for Widow, right? I've been known for a lot of things, so this isn't just like a biased opinion. I know most of the time when you hit shots on Widow, it's people just not paying attention to you rather than you actually aiming. Like half the motherfuckers you watch play Widow they're like playing Valorant, right? They're not aiming. They're waiting for people to walk into their crosshair.
They'll actually just Valorant hold an angle and AFK.
Yeah, and they wait for people to walk into their crosshair. They don't try and aim into them. And that's why I hate playing Widow while streaming, because everyone knows I exist, and now I can't aim because everyone's paying attention to me. So that's why I'd rather just go Sombra and then kill the Widow that way. Because if I get killed by Widow, it's a Widow diff, and that's not how teams work.
See, most people don't want to swap to all those crazy off.
Yeah, and that's why they're dog shit.
Yeah, they want to.
That's why they're not allowed to complain.
To play a character that's generally okay at a lot of things, like Soldier 76 or Cass or Ashe, and walk into Junkertown First Point and not feel completely terrible. Like they still want to feel okay. And snipers are one of the few characters in this game where if you walk into those situations and you aren't like kind of trolling them, like you said, then you get kind of steamrolled, and they don't want to actually feel pressured into doing that or just losing.
So I would be happy to sympathize with them if they removed hero swapping or made some sort of draft system in this game. But one tricks literally never allowed to complain about anything ever, because it's like the ultimate irony when you're like queued into a ranked game. You have like a Symmetra one trick, and they're like, yeah, they got a Pharah, guys. Can we switch to hit scan? And you're like,
yo, that's me.
You're a one trick though. Like the irony here is a little bit palpable, right?
Yeah. It's always I've been that guy. I pick Symmetra and they have a Sojourn Mercy, and I go, oh, that's tough. It looks like you're playing Tracer.
This is tough, guys.
I don't know what's going on.
What if we had to,
it's really tough. I don't know what's going on here. Like, yo, Tracer, can you go Sojourn, please?
I mean, that leads to another problem where a lot of people are like, man, it just feels like no one tries to communicate or try anymore. We've been past that. You know, after the time where every ranked player was tired of one tricks, we tried negotiating with them. We tried negotiating with terrorists, and we realized that there's no negotiating with terrorists. So everyone in Overwatch has come to this euphoric complacency.
Yeah, there is a complacency. Okay. Back this up though. Do you remember the history of 2018 and 2017 where like all of OWL and like all of us were West Coast ladder, and so every time, oh god, when anyone who was a pro player or streamer reported a one trick for even potentially throwing, you would get counter reported until you were banned by people off the BNet forums. Do you remember this?
I don't remember that.
I remember it was like Effect in season 1 reported a Symmetra on his team for just hard throwing one of his games. And then everyone got mad and Effect ended up getting banned for a few days. And so this
because like the auto report system.
Yeah. Enough people like all the Symmetra mains banded together and started reporting.
They went,
yeah. Stuff like that happened in early 2017, 2018 and stuff. It was very, very funny. But I do feel like most people absolutely stop caring as much, but also I don't think it's as for the one trick stuff you say. I think it's just because people just get tired of like, how are you supposed to care about Overwatch ranked ladder season 38?
Oh no, yeah, no one cares. Like I'll play ranked and I'll still try and win, but I don't care about like the leaderboard. I don't think anyone does at this point.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And so I think, you know, trying to make that and change that in the long run would be pretty interesting, but I don't know how you realistically do that. But
rewards.
Yeah, the rewards would have to change, and I don't think they want to go down that road. Because
no more hidden MMR.
Well, That's a little bit different.
No more forced 50-50.
But there is, wait, what do you mean by forced 50-50?
Okay, everyone knows by now every single matchmaking company or every matchmaking in a video game, what companies try to do nowadays is no one likes losing, right? So to get the average Joe Schmo casual to keep wanting to play the game, they artificially make it so their win rate will try and be as 50-50 as possible. So they will get wins every now and then. So they're like, yeah, I got another dub. Let's queue up more. That's how Force 50-50 has come about.
Isn't that the same as... I think there's two parts of this. Isn't the 50-50 what you're describing also the same as just the people naturally getting more MMR as they win and then falling when they lose?
It's been documented in League, and a lot of people thought it was a myth, but it's been you know what losers queue is?
No.
So League has something called losers queue, which when you get a certain amount of wins, the game goes, whoa, hold up, fella. You've been winning too much. What we're going to do is we're going to put you with 2 or 3 teammates that are on a 5 or 6 game loss streak.
This is trolling.
And you're probably going to lose this game because you're in losers queue. And I've seen it.
This is some big conspiracy shit. Okay,
no,
okay.
It's a real thing.
For the
it
rational
is a real
thing here, maybe by playing 20 games back to back, I occasionally run into turbo feeders.
No, so that's different, right? Getting a turbo feeder. No, listen. Getting a turbo feeder, that's RNG, right? RNG in a skill-based game, and it happens, human beings, they're wild creatures, beautiful creatures. You can never predict them. Matchmaker, though, you look at the op.gg of your teammates, 5-6 game losing streak. Oh, this is going to be a tough one, guys. Lost that one. Go to the next game. Look at your teammate. 5-6 game loss streak. It's a real thing. They want to put you down.
I don't think so.
Dude, look it up. It's fucking real.
I don't think so, dude.
It's 100% real. It's not a conspiracy.
Listen. It's some conspiracy shit. 100%. It's 100% some conspiracy shit, dude. No doubt in my mind.
It is.
The matchmaker knew I was going to get top 100 and gave me the sim one trick.
Okay, the one trick, the matchmaker has no say on that. But the Force 50-50, real. Haven't you had times where you're like, today was a good game. I went on like a 7-game loss streak, man. Some of these games just felt like I didn't even have to try. Next day you go into, you're having these losses, right? Like you're in the fucking trenches. You're like, dude, there's no way this game is real. Like the players on my team, they're not fucking human beings. Like this is so different from yesterday. And then you have like a 12-game loss streak, and it feels like no matter what you fucking did, you're just done.
The problem is, it sounds crazy. And it absolutely is crazy because the reality is behind the scenes that you're just playing so many fucking games that you're going to end up with the absolute degenerates who are like that by nature of how many games you're playing.
Not for 12 games in a row. Refuse.
12
Refuse to
games.
believe.
Is it not a natural thing that there will people be on loss streaks and win streaks?
Yeah, but that's natural. But the matchmaking organizes it so it puts you on those people to be with loss streaks to be on your team. And you think I'm crazy?
I think you're fucking crazy.
I can understand this sounds crazy.
This is your Joker moment, Lane.
It actually does it. League has a website.
We live in a society.
League has a website that tells you if you're in losers queue or not.
Oh no, dude.
And that's all because companies are trying to get people to continue playing their game, by making sure they win just as much as they lose so they don't get discouraged. See, like, have you ever thought about how no one actually deranks in this game?
I don't know about that
no one gets lower by too much.
And what? Are you talking about Overwatch?
Yeah, I see no one fucking D rank. Everyone's always at their same rank, whether it be plus or minus 5.
Okay, but isn't that normally people rank up or rank down and they're just kind of chilling because people themselves don't really change that much? And they're just playing some rank games, not trying to improve, so they just stay the same?
I don't know. I don't think so. Some of these players should be silver or bronze.
Have you seen silver or bronze?
Yeah, it's a new world.
Yeah, I mean, when Overwatch 2 came out, they said silver 5 was too skilled for the new players. They had to put them in bronze 5 as a starting point instead. That shit's wild.
Yeah, they probably deserved it.
You know the worst part? Imagine being like an actual Overwatch 1 player who's maybe silver 4 or silver 3, just casually play, and you get literal new players in your games.
Yeah, I would stomp them. It'd be great.
True.
I would go Moira, and like, what would they do?
I don't. I've constantly been wondering this in the back of my mind. Okay, we talk about how like the devs are scared of, we can't nerf Sojourn because she underperforms at lower ranks, and we can't buff Pharah, Mercy, or Genji because stuff like that would underperform at a lower, overperform at a lower rank. What about the opposite? Aren't characters like Torb and Moira just completely busted down there? Like, I don't know how to watch that. Like, if they're bouncing around it, shouldn't they be getting nerfed? Am I crazy?
We don't think about how developers think, because developers never like admitting they're wrong. So, they're in their own world, right?
Okay.
Like we can't think in the mind of a developer, because they'll never say they're wrong.
Obviously, the streamers know what to do.
We complain because that's our job, right?
True.
We get paid to do that.
True.
So, but like, dude, I'll play Moira in top 500, and it feels like I'm making it a gold game with some of the shit I can get away with. And at this point, if these gold support players aren't carrying, like, they probably just deserve to be gold.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've had people come in and be like, the Seagull, I'm a gold support player. How do I get out of gold? And I tell them to lock Moira, but I always wonder, like, could I check in with them in a week? Did they rank up? And if you didn't rank up in, silver playing Moira, then that means you're a silver Moira, which, what does a silver Moira look like is the real question.
Who knows? We're going to have to get an extensive replay of that. And then,
because couldn't you just, and we are actually so far gone from that rank that we come up with the most ridiculous and insulting scenarios imaginable for a bronze silver player. Like, I don't know what a silver player looks like, or a bronze player, right? Because we've been sitting here in top 500 for years. We literally don't know how most people play this game. So when we're like, oh yeah, you just go Moira, you just flank and just kill them. And then,
yeah,
like, how do they fuck that up? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why they're not allowed to complain, right? Because it doesn't make sense.
But that's the point, is that we don't know.
That's why they're not allowed to get mad at me, because I don't know either.
Oh god. Yeah, I guess we really don't know what's going on.
See, there's two options you have as a support player. One, you play the game correctly. You enable your team. The one thing support players need to get through their thick skulls is DPSing as a support is a privilege, not a right. You should be making sure everyone else is alive before you DPS. Now,
okay, whoa. Doesn't this go against the thing that we were talking about a minute ago, where we were saying that low-level support players should just go Moira flank and kill the enemy team?
That goes to my second point. Once you have established your team is dog shit, that's when you take matters into your own hands.
Oh, so you're saying it's like a priority order?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like a checklist.
So basically, first you play the game normally, and then if your team is dog shit, you immediately lock Moira and flank the enemy backline.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I had a match yesterday that perfectly encapsulates it. I had a Mercy on my team. They were perma-pocketing our Sojourn. Sometimes DPS don't have a good game. They had an enemy Sojourn getting perma-pocketed. They were kind of rolling us, and I went, you know what? I might have to just lock the Moira. And you know what my Mercy said? Yeah, you might be right. I'm going to play Kiriko. We switched. I went Mora into the back line. Dude, it's like I'm a second main tank at that point. I'm just in the back, sucking off, dodging all this shit, being annoying as fuck. No one, dude, I'm sucking this Mercy, and she's probably like, please, someone stop the Moira. And like, she's like freaking out. Everyone has to turn around. My team gets more space. I'm throwing my orbs, getting kills. Like, it's immense, immaculate space being created. We win the game. Easy clap. I didn't heal unless I absolutely had to, or well, actually, no one was. That's why I said 23/7. You were right. Like the 1 hour, there's sometimes healing, but it's only like, it's like if someone's near me and the fight's over, I'm like, yeah, I can top you off, bud. Other than that,
I guess I can help you out a little bit. Oh yeah.
But that's the flow chart, right? Supports are there to enable their teammates. That's the glory. That's where you should get a hard on playing support. You should be like, yeah, I'm the reason you're doing so well right now, you little bitch. I'm the reason you're still alive. But then as soon as they're not using that support, you go, you know what? Fuck you, bitch. My kits are overloaded as fuck. I can do everything and more. And then you just start fucking flanking, killing everyone.
I mean, the point is to win the game, not win the game in your, specific mental constraints. It's simply kill the enemy.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you flank as Mora. You never die and you kill everyone.
Oh god.
But if we had to list like a mental illness scale of all heroes, Junkrat players would be at the highest point. Like they would be rank 1 on the mental illness scale.
Jesus. I mean, that's definitely a tier list.
Who would be at the bottom? I feel
the
like
most sane. Who's the most sane kind of Overwatch player?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Let me bring up the hero roster. The most sane Overwatch hero players would be, honestly, probably Cassidy players.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're like the sanest of all.
What about Soldier or Ball? I always feel like on a fundamental level, the happiest people in Overwatch are Ball players. They just roll around, they have a good time.
Ball players would commit war crimes if they could. That's all I'm saying.
Probably not true. Not wrong. I mean, probably not wrong. What do you think about Tord players?
Tord players are probably like the middle of the mental illness chart,
Jesus fucking Christ.
Some of them definitely have some problems, but some other ones are kind of just chilling.
Lane, you have a lot of crazy takes about Overwatch.